welcome to the first episode of How We Work, the spinoff show from the Mariety show, where we talk to people with normal jobs and maybe more blue-collar jobs once I find some more people for that. But these are the first people that kind of answered, so we're going to go ahead and listen to the first episode today. Tell me if you guys like it, and let's get on to How We Work. Thanks. Hello. So we got our first set of people here. They're not blue-collar workers at all, but you know, anything that's not my job is basically blue-collar. So we have Ian and Blaze. How's it going, guys?
Dog, what is up?
Yeah,
pretty good, Mariah.
Yep, I'm Mariah and Dog. Awesome. So Mariety. Yeah, you could call me anything you want. Wow, this is like not going as natural as everything else we just like ice broke with before I started recording.
Well, it'd be kind of tough because you'd have to like pick and edit through those things.
Yeah.
I've got those first podcast jitters, bro. I just got to get them out.
Yeah, I'm kind of jittering too. You guys are making me nervous. Okay, I don't.
Do you want us to leave?
Yeah, really.
I'll just do the rest by myself. Just type up an essay and I'll just read it out loud. But
well, y'all have fun.
Okay, bye. Okay. So we have Ian and Blaze. What are y'all's jobs? I don't know.
On rock, paper, scissors, who goes first?
Yeah, I'll start.
Did you say bigger penises? Did you say bigger
like I said,
no, you're good. You're good. Go.
So, I've been a mail carrier with the U.S. Postal Service for about 2.5 years now.
All right. And then, Ian, what the hell do you do?
All right. I work for a very green grocery store in the South, mostly in Florida. I've worked there for about 5 years now. But I currently run the frozen department. Okay,
so a mailman and the guy from The Shining or something like that. Okay, nice. We got some good stuff here. Sounds like they could have some crazy stories, especially if someone mentioned Florida, so that would be awesome. So whoever wants to go first, or we could start with Blaze again or whatever. So it just real quick, I mean, you guys said your job. So like what are your duties? What is your shift work schedule? Like why is it so hard? No, I'm just kidding. Why, what do you do in your day?
So I can tell you, my job is a little weird because as a mailman. Okay. When I started my job, I was working out of a union, and I only just recently left that union, the National Association of Letter Carriers, to work federally. But
this sounds fake.
It's so gay. I know, it's so gay. But now I actually work through like the Federal Postal Service, so you can call me a Fed, you can call me whatever you want.
Oh, fuck.
But so for those first 2 years, I did not have my own route to work, which is like a lot of mail carriers, they'll go in every single day, they'll case up the same mail for the same route, drive the same truck, and deliver to the same houses every single day. Mm-hmm. But for me, I'm still not at that spot yet. So my work schedule is probably like the #1 complaint I have about this job. Like even just setting up this recording time was like a pain in the ass.
So like sometimes
what my job will do.
Sometimes you're punching in a code to enter someone's package.
Yep. Oh. But so basically my schedule every single day, I don't know what my route is going to be for the next day, or if I'm even going to work at all. And like our schedule, like we work like we're in the 1800s. Like there is no like digital way to check my schedule. They post my schedule. Yeah, they post my schedule. They write it on a piece of paper, and then they put it up on a tack board every single day around like 2 p.m. So like today, I know. So like today is my day off, right? Yeah. I don't know if I'm working tomorrow or not. I have to call the office whenever I'm done with this recording to call up there and be like, hey, am I working tomorrow? And it's been that way for 2.5 years. I don't know what my route is tomorrow. I don't know if I go in at all, what time I go in. I've got to call and ask.
What's keeping you in this job? I assume it may be money, but you know, if it is
money. Yeah. Yeah, well, okay, like, we'll get to the other stuff, but, like I said, that's the worst part of the job, and, like, at the very least, I know, usually every single day, I go in at 8 o'clock, and I'm usually done by, like, 5, if it's a really busy day.
So you typically work like regular business hours.
Yeah,
that's pretty sweet at the least.
I still work like a 9 to 5. It's just I don't know what my days off are. So if anyone asks me in advance, like, "Hey, are you doing anything this day?" Oh, no. I'll say I have no idea, but I'll be free that evening at least.
But the holidays, you have those set, right? I mean, I don't get mail delivered on Christmas.
What? So most places. Yeah, but we were starting before the show. I work up in North Texas. I won't say where in North Texas, but with where I work, we don't have an Amazon delivery center where I live. There's no Amazon drivers or anything like that. We do have UPS and FedEx, but no Amazon. But we have an agreement with Amazon to deliver Amazon packages, and in turn we get to use some of their equipment and stuff. Like, there's some weird old law, I can't even remember why it exists, that says that the US Postal Service isn't allowed to own and operate like their own aircrafts. So like the United States Postal Service isn't allowed to have any airplanes. So like, what do you do if you have like a package that you send out through the U.S. Postal Service, like here in Texas, and it's supposed to be in Wyoming tomorrow? We have to use, like, Amazon planes. And in turn, in areas where Amazon doesn't have Amazon delivery drivers, will deliver their Amazon packages. So even on Sundays and holidays, I will work, but I only deliver Amazon packages. So my day is... Yeah, but like, we were initially thinking about doing this tomorrow, me and Mariety at least, around 2 o'clock, because I knew that I would be done delivering Amazon packages by 2 o'clock. But it's still a Sunday, but I would still have to go in and deliver Amazon packages.
Oh my god, that sucks. Okay, I didn't mean to make this like into a your job sucks thing, but this sounds like it really sucks.
I feel like that might be a common theme throughout this conversation, which is fine. But you're gonna be surprised.
I want to make it clear. I really like my job. Like, my schedule is the worst part. Everything from here gets better.
Okay, because I kind of like.
I enjoy my job.
I like having a variety of shit to do and having something different to do every day and stuff. So that's probably maybe the same thing with you, because if I'm stuck there doing the same... I mean, I can do projects where it's like, okay, I know this isn't going to last the rest of my career pressing 5 buttons or whatever, but if I had to do something for a month and I know it's going to change, okay, I'll be a little repetitive, but... If that was like that my whole career, oh hell no, I'd get so bored. So yeah, I could see like something like that. That's why I would want to be a mailman, right? Maybe like on the weekends, but it sounds like I can't just do it on the weekends.
Well, to be fair, they do have positions, like, they have, like, seasonal and temp stuff for people who just work weekends and whatnot to help out. Like, it is a flexible job, depending on where you work and what your needs are. Like, I don't want to just come on here and shit on my job, because I do like what I do, but...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean...
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like again, good job, except for maybe if you get like put in the bad part of town and
yeah. We'll get to that. Yeah.
Okay, we'll get back to that. As for Ian, what is your job consists of, your shift, your work schedule.
Well, so for me right now,
green little grocery store.
Yeah, the big green pea, as I like to call it. So right now I basically run the frozen department in the store. So I'm responsible for anything and everything that's frozen. That's basically inside the grocery, not the meat department. So all I handle. So
like the cocktail
you mentioned
shrimp?
Scheduling.
The cocktail shrimp that you
No,
put into
that's
the
meat
freezer?
department.
Oh,
no, that's meat department stuff. No, sorry. Is that your favorite?
Yeah, the ones that they just unload it from the box and put it in the freezer section. Yep. Yeah,
that's meat department.
All right, sorry.
No, you're good. There's a lot. Kind of tying it into, at least just for now, the scheduling and the difficulty. For me, I started part-time at the bottom and I worked my way up to this. I work every morning 5 a.m. to 2 p.m. But right before I got promoted into it, I was working either 2 a.m. to noon or 4 a.m. to 1. So it's a really it's a tough adjustment, because truthfully, you never really adjust to like this. You adjust to the sleep in the way, but no matter what you try or how much sleep you try to get, you still wake up groggy. Because let's be honest, it's 3 a.m. when you get up, or 4 a.m. when you get up, or whatever it is.
Or it's like when you're going to sleep, it's fucking bright outside, and
that's another tough part too.
Yeah, whether you have blackout curtains or not, it's also kind of different when you're like, I mean, your body just knows, like, I assume your body knows, like, our natural instincts. Okay, if it's bright outside, we should be up and doing things, because if it's dark outside, we don't want to be out from home when it's dark, and shit like that. So
definitely. And I feel like people who work this tend to, or figure out how to train themselves to adapt in a way, where I find that if I have to get up earlier and I know ahead of time, I'll purposefully stay up later the night before so I go to sleep earlier. Yeah. You kind of figure out a way yourself to adjust as much as possible. Maybe you adopt a routine in the morning that gets you up. Like I like to get a shower, make coffee, get myself up and ready, walk my dog, everything to because this job in particular, and I'm sure the same way with Blaze, where it's particularly physical. I have I work stock. Most of what I do on a daily basis is I work my truck or my back stock, which is the stuff that we keep in the back that isn't going to fit on the shelf, or things like that. And especially right now, because of the holidays, there's a lot. I basically run a whole department with myself and one person who works 2 days.
Oh my god, Jesus.
But,
so okay, wait, let me just clarify. So you're doing the frozen, so you're just basically doing all the frozen, like, vegetables and frozen...
Well, so it's not just that, it's the whole aisles.
So you're unpacking them, putting that shit in the freezer, or, like, lifting those big boxes up, putting it, make sure it's in the right spot... At least the good part is, you're going to be in the AC, though. Like, when you're opening the freezer and shit.
That's another... That's one of the hard parts, too, is my freezer is -10.
Oh, so you're, like, in a box freezer.
Yeah, so I work... when I work, I'm in and out of the freezer. So the way my flow works is the night before I go in, my items for that day are delivered. For the next day are delivered. So the people who are closing the store... We'll take the pallets. It literally comes on pallets stacked up and wrapped. Okay. Right? I don't know. Yeah. You could probably visualize it.
I know what pallets are. I had to take some stuff off of pallets the other day at my job for the first time.
Yeah, exactly.
So I know what that is.
They come just like that, but it's just a bunch of product that's frozen product that I'm going to stock. And then they take it into my freezer overnight. When I come in the next morning at 5 a.m., I'm tasked with working all of it to either the shelf or getting it organized into the back room for later or whatever it needs to be. I don't necessarily take it off the truck, but I do stack them all down. And the way we do it is we take it off of the pallet onto these things that we call floats, which are basically like big long planks on wheels that have things on the side that you can push them with.
Oh, like the things people at Walmart, just the workers at Walmart just leave in the aisles?
Yeah, it's not exactly the same. It depends on which one. There's different types, but that's essentially it. Yeah.
Okay. That's what you're bringing the product out to the aisle with.
Yeah, so not only... And the product doesn't come organized, so I have to organize it.
What the fuck? So it's like...
So I have to organize it onto the float and then take it out and work it on the section to make it easier on myself, yeah.
So it's like peas and green beans mixed up, and you have to, like, put them in...
Well, so it comes in what, like, cases, right? So, so for my company, I typically get around 300 to 350 cases per day, per truck, Christ. Right? My company standard is 60 cases an hour working it, which is 1 case per minute.
What the hell?
Yeah, it's not unattainable. It's honestly, like, it just takes time it takes practice to be able to be that fast. You know, you're not expected to do that immediately, but where I am, I need to be at that rate. And I do hit it, but when you do the math, that's 6 hours straight of stocking out of my 8. Yeah, right? So I'm literally going back and forth between in the freezer, stacking things off, getting it out to the floor, putting everything on the shelf, and going back. And that's just one part of it. I do inventory management and organizing the back room and things like that. I do the order, blah, blah, blah.
Jeez, but that's like, yeah, if you did all of it just 6 hours straight and then 2 hours, that's not even including a lunch or anything. I don't know how that would work.
Yeah, I typically get an hour break, so I'm scheduled for 9 hours in total, 8 on, 1 hour break.
At least it's a 1 hour. I know sometimes it's like, well, when you hear about Amazon and shit, they're like, you have a 30-minute lunch and then you have a 5-minute piss break, only 2 of those, and it's like,
and you can't leave your station, and I've heard terrible things about that.
I can tell you, I get a 30-minute lunch break, which doesn't really mean a whole lot.
No,
well, I get a 30-minute lunch break, but if you don't bring your own lunch, then like your lunch break also accounts for you driving somewhere and driving back on your lunch.
Absolutely.
So you get the Taco Bell and you've got like 10 minutes to chill.
Yeah, you just hammer it while you're driving home or back to your work.
Taco Bell doesn't have a fucking long line. Yeah, I used to do like 2 30-minutes and then the rest 1 hour lunches. So like we did it that way so everyone could get an hour off early on Friday. So it was kind of mandatory, actually.
Well, it kind of for us it sucks because they cut our OT.
Oh, sorry. Oh, if you. Oh wait. Well. Okay, wait, so what were you saying? So if you were saying if you go over your lunch, do you have...
Yeah, say like, for example, I get a busy day. Oh, I do. I was just saying what happens for us is like sometimes if you have some overtime or something, they don't let you have it. You just... Your last day, you get cut early.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they told me at my job, they're just like, yeah, we don't do overtime, so I was just under the impression. But I did work at a job before that provided overtime, and it was I would have worked all 24 hours a day if I could. That shit is nice honestly. When the overtime hits. But do you guys so it sounds like you don't really get much overtime. As for Blaze, what about you?
Yeah, we get plenty of overtime here. So
overwhelming overtime.
It can be, especially around this time of year where you've got like Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales, and then like rush right before Christmas. But and if you're working those Sundays and holidays as well, then that's going to add extra hours. But there's kind of like this perfect middle ground that you want to hit. Mm-hmm. So we have like seniority bonuses basically where like the longer you work with the post office federally, you get a little boost to your pay every single year up until about, I think it's like the 20-year mark. It cuts off after that. Oh. But for like the first like 20 years you're employed, your wage goes up like every single year. Oh, but after a certain point, you're making so much money that like they try very, very, very hard to not let you hit overtime, because if you were hitting overtime, you would be making like $60-70 an hour. Wow. But if you're like where I'm at, and you are regularly making like $25 an hour, like they don't mind letting you go overtime. So, and after you reach like a certain level of hours, if it's really, really, really bad and it's like a really, really busy week, I think after 56 hours of work throughout a week, or if you work more than 10 hours in a day, everything after that becomes double your pay. So you'll like double your time instead of time and a half. But they try really hard not to let you do that. But
wow. If that's okay, if I can ask, so we know your schedules, and then Blaze, you just said you make 25 an hour. I make 20 an hour. I just say desk job, like IT, basic beginner IT stuff. I just got a raise though because I got a certificate that's in high demand. Whoa, hell yeah. No, I don't know if it's in high demand, but it's one of those like base things you kind of all ITs need. And I work like the 9 to 5 basically. We just so happen to change to 410s, which this is my first real week on. That's nice. It's been fucking nice because I got yesterday off, but I already worked my 40 hours, so I'm like, hell yeah. So I'm like, okay, really nice. You know, I have the weekends off and now I have Friday off, so I'm like, you know, it always depends on where you're at and what jobs you can get and stuff. But if Ian, if you're okay with sharing your wage, if not, it's all right.
I just make 19.
19, and you've been there 5 years?
About. It'll be 5 next year.
And then Blaze has been at his position for, you said 2 years?
Yeah, like 2.5.
2.5. Oh. Is it? Do you guys find it easy to like get promoted at your like jobs, or is it kind of competitive, or is it, or you don't really care? You just kind of go with the. Oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry. You can answer this then, Ian. Like, do you just go with the flow, or like what?
So, where I'm at now, it gets competitive. But how I've gotten here, I've kind of flown up, I guess, really fast. At least for. It's a little bit of a, not complicated structure, but it kind of, there's a few steps along the way to getting to management with this.
Do you have to do like, I'm sorry, you're about to explain it, but you have to do like to get to the next level, even though you work there, you still have to do the interview and then go through all the other shit
no. You kind of just...
Oh, well that's good, at least.
They kind of go, so my company only promotes within. So if a job opening for a management position comes along, they will not hire anyone outside. They're only going to promote people inside the company to that.
Okay. Well, that's good, though. I always like when companies do that because it's absolutely terrible, especially if you get, like, a leadership from an outside position. It's like, okay, yeah, you've been working in XYZ for 20 years, but you don't know how... I hate the word culture because I was at a place that used to kind of have a toxic culture, and they made culture their whole thing.
Oh, I've been to plenty of those, yeah.
But there is still a culture, you know, in the non-toxic way, whether they're like, oh, this is how we are, this is our culture, blah, blah, that it's like, you need to fit into, and also, you haven't worked at, you know, my job, who's actually doing the work, rather than managing it, so how you can bring ideas, but how are you going to fully manage, or, like, try to take ownership for... You know,
that's exactly it. Is that it can be kind of complicated, and this, you know, I guess you could say the grocery business is really fickle in the sense that margins are tight in the first place just by nature of the business. You need people who are going to run your things well and who know what they're looking at. And if you're going to bring somebody in who's not familiar with the system and then be given, you know, the access and the ability to change things in the department that makes the most money in your store, that's really going to affect you. And you need, you know, they found the value in bringing up the people who have been through how the system works already, so they can manage it efficiently. And that's where I feel like a lot of places fail, especially now, because like I'm sure you guys feel this, where they're either not finding people to hire when you need it, or the people they hire are just not great.
Oh yeah, exactly. At a previous job, at my current job, we do too. But I think it's for a different reason, because the pay's a little lower. But a lot of turnover and stuff, just because either the job, they're hiring basically anyone for it because the job fucking sucks and no one internally knows to apply for it. Or again, just the pay.
Oh, of course. And you know, it sucks because at least with my company, some of these positions that people don't want to do for the pay or for similar reasons are the ones that are required to be done to lead to where these people want to go, if that makes sense to you. You can't get to, at least, you know, in our company's culture or the way it's set up, you can't get to these places without being in the trenches first.
Yep. Yeah.
But they come in and want the, you know, and want the things that there are people there who have been there for a significant amount of time, like a year or so, who are working towards these things.
Yep.
And the new people come in and expect that, and when they don't get it, they just go.
Yep. And for example, this isn't necessarily managing people at all, but like I got put on my first project this week, and I've been studying about the stuff, and it's, you know, part of it's my job, but it's a couple of other things are just a little more advanced stuff that I learned recently, and I'm like, okay, you know, I can handle this, whatever, and figure it out and trial and error. But that's not the same thing if you're, again, trying to like manage people. And then like, imagine me, you know, I feel like I'd be qualified to be some sort of manager or supervisor, but the skills, that's not, I feel like the skills are only, transferable if I've been in that position. Imagine me trying to supervise you. See, like,
or me trying to do it with your job. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't have a clue. The interpersonal part of it kind of translates in general, but you also got to know those specifics. You could manage me in a sense of being a good personal manager, but when it came to the job, it would, you know, that's the clash.
I'll be like, yeah, what's the problem? You can't fucking unload a box in a minute. What's wrong with you?
Oh my god. I feel like that's the worst thing is like the numbers. It just, they've just got to hit the numbers, you know?
I hate, that's another thing I worked with before.
And it takes away from the,
I hate that.
You know, the core of it almost.
Yeah. Although it's, you know, it's satisfying, and that's where I like, you know, again, me not ever being in really a physical... I actually think the job I have now is kind of the most physical job I do, because I get under the tables and I move stuff and I move furniture and I move equipment. But I mean, it's not like heavy lifting or on my feet all day. But what was I going to say? The thing with the numbers? I don't know. It's just, very competitive. And it's very draining too, especially when it's like, even if you're just having like one bad week, it really fucking gets to you. It's like, man, and you fall behind so quickly too if you just don't, like, it feels like sometimes you don't have time to breathe, I assume. It's like,
no, you have to keep yourself, like, you have to actually, like, almost like pacing yourself in a way where, you know, my week, some days are heavier than others. Right. Some days my trucks aren't always massive, but there are days where it's really hard, and then there are days where it's really easy. And I feel that this job, and I'm sure a lot of more or less blue collar jobs have that, where they can burn you out really fast if you're not careful.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine,
you know, especially the physical ones.
I could barely do that sitting at a computer just trying to, like, close a mortgage or whatever I was fucking doing at the time. And I was breaking down every day crying. Because,
that's like the mental strain, right?
But imagine having to hit numbers like that and being, like, you having to, like, be on your feet all day and having to, like, work out while you're doing. I'm like, man, I would die. I would just.
I don't go to the gym purely because my job really does keep me in shape. It's nice.
Hey,
you'd be really surprised how much pro and con. It's so pro and con heavy with these kind of jobs.
Well, I was thinking. Oh, sorry.
No, you go.
I was just gonna say, I was thinking at one point, like, if I had some kind of, like, other job, like, first of all, to supplement my income, and second, to kind of be on my feet and be up and moving a little bit more. But I'm like, if I was like a night stalker, is that something I would really be able to do? And
it's so tough, because like the overnight shift, at least here, it's so amazing, but it really makes the rest of your life difficult. Because I've done it. I've done the overnight midnight to 8 shift or something along those lines. And you get to go in, you get to wear your comfy clothes and do everything and listen to music and blah, blah, blah. And it's really nice. And there's no one in your way. You just do your thing and you go home.
Mm-hmm.
But then you go home and you sleep for 8 hours. And, you know, you get up and everyone's still at work, or, you know, when everyone's off, you're asleep for most of the day. You don't really get to have a social life. And if you do, it's people who also work a similar schedule.
Yeah, even my day off yesterday, I was like so lost, because I was just shopping for presents all day, and then I was in my normal little friend group chat, and I'm like, everyone's at work, they can't just respond right away.
No, really.
Like, I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, I'm bombarding the group chat like crazy, and I'm just like,
these poor people are trying to do their jobs.
Yeah, I'm like, they're doing shit. And I have my schedule. I'm like, fuck. But yeah, I mean, even if like my only job was being like the overnight stalker, I don't even think I could do it, just simply because I've never stayed up past like 3 a.m. So
you become a connoisseur of caffeine drinks.
No, I would probably have a panic attack and die or something. No, I would not be able to do that. Is Blaze back? Is Blaze back?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, I guess he'll notify us when he's back.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of anything else right now. Or if you have a story.
I've got plenty to talk about. It could be about.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry about that.
Oh, okay. Well, do we even remember the initial question I just asked you, Ian?
You were asking us about our. Oh, you're talking about overtime, but that kind of
overtime. Yeah, it went into something else. Well, let's just go
I
back
overheard.
to. Oh yeah.
Yeah, there was something about what you were saying. I'm sorry, I just had something come up with.
That's okay.
We've been having issues with the electricity. It came by at the worst time.
That's alright.
But anyways, you were talking about like your like overnight shifts and stuff, Ian.
Yeah.
I worked an overnight shift for a little bit with one of my previous jobs that I had when I was like 18. And that was just like an overnight desk job. But the worst part of that for me was not like having to stay up or caffeine or whatever. Also, I wasn't doing like a whole lot physically, but just mentally, there was something so demoralizing about going in every single day when the sun was down and it was pitch black, and then getting out of work and driving home when it was still fucking pitch black. And people would ask questions like, you know, like, oh, hey, like, you want to do this, you want to hang out. And I'm like, my social life was so dead. I'm like, I haven't seen the sun in like a week.
Holy shit, that's like how I feel.
This is the most relatable shit, dude.
I'm like, I cannot relate at all. I'm terrible, but like me, when daylight savings happens and I get off at 5 and it's pitch black, not the same. But I would actually like fall over and just like not like.
We always joke that we'll see each other at work dark and early the next morning.
I would lose my sanity. Like, there was even a time. Well, I was telling Ian that. First of all, I can't even stay up past like 3 a.m. and staying up until 3 a.m. is very hard for me. Besides that, there's a point after like maybe 10 o'clock, if I'm able to stay up that late, and usually it's when I haven't been drinking, I just feel like a rush and I feel energized and I feel good. But it's like, I don't want to be working. I kind of want to be like creative or do something because I don't know, there's just like, that's one of the times during the day I'm like, I feel good. So if I had to be at work, I'd hate it. I would be like, what the hell? But yeah, go ahead. Night shift, what? No, I'm just kidding.
You were talking about that too, just like daylight savings time screwing you up, getting out, and it's like 5 o'clock. So I have that too at my mailman job right now. But like you go in and like it's 8 o'clock. But there are a couple nights lately where like I like my overtime, so there are times that I'll get done with a route by like 4 o'clock, but they're asking me to go and help out one of the new guys or go do something else because another route is behind. And that's usually like not mandatory, that's optional, but like I'm happy to do it because I'm like, yeah, money. So I'll go help someone else. But like it gets dark by like 5 o'clock. So if I'm out delivering past 5 o'clock, I've got to strap a little headlamp onto my head so that I can see the mail because it gets so fucking dark so fast.
That's awesome.
Before I bought a headlamp, I would have to like pull my phone out and use the flashlight on my phone to read the addresses on the mail. It was ridiculous. But that's like the mailman creed or whatever, like no sleet or rain or heat or the gloom of night. Yeah, the mailman creed, bro. No sleet, no rain, no heat, no gloom of night will stop the mail rounds or something. I don't know. Something like that.
So
that is the silliest shit. I'm so sorry it's goofy.
It's goofy.
So if you went up to like a guy that like does like welding or like plums, would you guys think that he would think this is blue collar work? I mean, it depends on the guy, but sorry, what'd you say? Probably not. And
we both said no.
Oh yeah, no.
I don't know. Well, because at first I was like, I don't know how. I mean, I knew like there was like to an extent, you know, you guys had to do stuff. I was like, I didn't really think how much. So I'm like, okay, I definitely know job's more physical than me. So I was gonna name it baby blue collar workers, but I'm like, I feel like I feel like you guys are normal blue collar workers.
I would say it's fair to call being a mailman like baby blue collar work because there's a little bit to it. It kind of depends on the routes that you're doing. Yeah. Because there are some people who will do routes where like they load up the truck and from there like they don't have to leave the truck like all day. There's no walking because you've got like all these curbside mailboxes, so you just pull up to the house and then you just throw mail in the box. But where I'm at, most of our city infrastructure is so outdated that like a good majority of our houses still have the mail slots like in the door. So you have to hold up the little door flap and throw the mail in the door. And there's always a dog on the other side that like eats the mail or like tries to chew your fingers off. It's cute until you get bit and you're like, oh, motherfucker! Or you feel bad because like you'll slip like a thin package through the door box and you hear it's just like getting ripped up as you're putting it in. I'm sure that's gotta feel so great. But
I guess it's better.
But I can't just leave it on the porch either because it'll fly away. Yeah. But where I'm at, I tend to walk anywhere in the area of like 20 to 30,000 steps a day on my little health tracker or whatever.
Yeah, I get about the same.
Yeah, so you get it, bro. There's this app that I have that, like, if you walk a certain amount, it lets you plant, like, real-world trees and stuff.
Oh, that's so cool. I should try that.
Yeah, so I've got a little garden going on, bro. I've planted, nearly...
Hit me with that link after this.
Yeah,
I'll do that, man.
I use my Apple Watch when I'm at work.
Nothing. It's probably taking me 1 week to plant a tree.
You can plant like a tree a month.
Yeah.
That's what my wife does.
I walk a little more than that. Come on now.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, from the mobility scooter to the bed.
me rolling around with the fucking computers and IT.
Oh my god.
Like, hey, your delivery's here. I don't even set it up.
Just drop it on the floor and roll away.
I'm so terrible. I literally just forget to do shit, but I've been trying to do 100 wall push-ups a day.
Oh my god.
I can't do a normal push-up, so I'm like, okay, these are easier, so might as well do 100. I did it for 2 days in a row, and then I forgot, and then I was going to try to do another day, and then to like make up, so I did 75, and then I forgot again, so I need to do some more physical activity.
In your work, you don't go to the gym, Ian?
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't have to go to the gym. There's a lot of times that I'll slack on going to the gym, but my issue is there's a lot of times where I'll get like a week off for PTO or something. Yeah. So I'll take like a week off of work. But by the time I come back, those first few days coming back are so
they are
draining. I feel like
they are rough.
So if during that time when I'm off, I don't go to the gym, like I'll just die when I get back.
Yeah, I try to do a little bit. When I was a bit younger, and especially growing up, I played hockey, so that kind of kept me in shape a bit too. But I've had to stop, relative, because of the scheduling and stuff. So that was usually kind of like my middle ground. But now, usually, the rest tends to help me more in the days off than doing that. But like a week is tough because it's hard to get back to your pace, I would say.
So, yeah. On your normal times when you guys are at work, like, what do you eat? Is it, like, just something fast? Or, like, do you eat a shit ton of food because you know you're going to be up and running around?
Garbage. I don't know if that has anything to do with work or just how I am as a person. But if there are so many days, especially when it's hot out. So I live in Texas, so summer heat in particular is really, really bad.
Oh yeah.
And those mail trucks that we drive, they don't have no air conditioning.
What?
So there's bro, I can go on a whole rant about those little mail trucks, and I could later, but I'll leave it be for right now. But those trucks suck. But so they have no AC. If anything, they just like collect heat. So in order to get out of the heat, I like to try to take my breaks or like a lunch in like a restaurant or a gas station or something, just so I can get in the AC for a little bit to get out of the heat. But then I also feel like self-conscious. So for a while it was like, oh, I don't want to just come in here and stand around and steal AC for 15 minutes and then not buy anything. So I'll at least get like a soda or a drink or something. Mm-hmm. That's how it started like 2.5 years ago. And now there will be like days in a row where I'll do the same route and it'll have like a McDonald's on it. And I download like the little McDonald's app and I'll go in and I'll eat like 3 cheeseburgers and a large fry and an ice cream and a large sweet tea. And sometimes I'll get like a little apple pie. Like I will eat like 2,000 calories in one sitting and be hungry by the end of the day again.
Well, you deserve it.
I eat slop.
I am the opposite. I do not eat until I'm off of work, and that's because
I couldn't do it.
I'm constantly moving the whole shift. Like pretty much when I get there, I sit down for, except for my break, maybe 20 to 30 minutes a day. The more I eat, the more I'm weighed down. So I try to minimize as much as it's possible, but I'll have like a protein shake or something along those lines and like a bunch of water and coffee or something, and or like if I have to eat, I'd work at a grocery store, so I'll get some yogurt or like a little pack of pistachios or something.
And you get them for like 10% off, I would hope.
No, I do not. I do not get a discount.
What the hell? Oh my god.
I wish.
Don't give me a discount on stamps either, bro. I gotta pay full price for stamps.
How many stamps are you buying, brother? How many stamps are you buying where you're gonna be saving money?
What should I cut down on? $1,000 on stamps.
If you'd like to support, if you'd like to support Blaze from the Mariety Show, you can go to your local post office and buy a stamp book. If you want to go support Ian, go buy some pistachios or a protein shake or something.
And then just send it to somewhere in Texas and hope it gets to him.
Yeah, buy the protein shake, send it with a stamp. A few stamps.
That's awesome.
But So I get that, like, constantly moving around too. But what I'll try to do, like, during the winter and stuff, I don't need to stop to go and see anywhere. But I still get hungry, so I'll try to have like more like easy to eat, like handheld food.
Yeah.
So like right now it's like closer to winter time, so I've got like I'll go to Sam's Club and buy like a 40-pack of muffins.
Oh, dude.
So smart.
So I'll bring like 2 or 3 muffins to work every day, and just when I'm driving like from like Parkway to Parkway, I'll just eat like 2 or 3 muffins.
I don't want to be the guy that has to get into that truck the next day and see all those goddamn crumbs. I hate to see them.
Bro,
I just see Blaze Hammer and blueberry muffins and crumbs just falling all over himself.
Okay, I clean up after myself, but some of these people don't, and they are nasty. There's so many of these trucks. People will drive some of these trucks out to like rural areas with the windows down, driving on like dirt roads. So you get in and the entire truck is just full of dirt and dust and leaves and pine cones and just honestly, junk. Like, it's nasty.
When I worked the overnight crew, not in the freezer, but on the regular grocery crew, all the stuff we would take off of the pallets, because it's the same way, I would go home and from my hand up to my elbow would just be gray, because everything's so dirty coming off of those trucks.
Damn.
I could imagine, get
in the shower and I would see like black water come off. It's crazy.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'll come home and like I've got a 2-year-old daughter, and so I'll come home and she's like, Dad, and she'll run up to give me a hug, and I'm like, yeah, no hugs yet. I gotta wash my hands.
No, you gotta introduce her to those germs early, so she'll be used to them.
Oh yeah, work her immune system. Just rub it all over her face. Like, take as much as you want. Yeah.
So I get grossed. I mean, like, if I know I'm gonna be working with like stuff like that, I'll be prepared, but like I get so grossed out because our computers collect a lot of dust. I'm like, oh god, I hate this, and like it is not to the extent that you guys experience it.
Oh, we get a lot of dust too.
I'm like, maybe if I was in like, because I guess I have to wear slacks and like the nice shirt and stuff too, which is different. If I had clothes also that I didn't mind getting dirty, I wouldn't really care as much. But I'm like, crap, I have to wear this to work again, and I mean I don't get black dust up to my arms or anything. That's just crazy.
It's just on the cases themselves, like not the product, but the cases the product come in just typically have a bunch of dust on them, and when you're handling a few hundred of them a day, it adds up.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Like, yeah, you don't even know who even packaged. Yeah, I don't know. Do you guys have any like items? So Blaze was talking about earlier, he has the headlamp, but if you guys have anything else, like a good pair of shoes you always buy, like what items have made your job easier that you found? Or more just like better to be at, or like you were saying, you buy a 40-pack of muffins too, and that makes your life easier.
Like that's a good idea. I like, for the freezer, I have a pair of boots. The ground in the freezer is always frozen, but half of it is also covered in steel plating.
Oh.
So, at least in the freezer itself, not in the store, obviously, but that makes it
around there with the fucking
yeah, right. It helps insulate more of your feet from like losing the heat from your body into the ground. So like boots tend to help that a lot, and getting a really good pair of freezer gloves like from Amazon really is going to make your life easier, I would say. Those two things are pretty essential. My company gives us our uniform, and anything extra we can buy uniform things from a certain store that they have.
Oh. So
I have like a branded sweater and stuff that helps protect me from the cold, I guess. But I'm a naturally warm person, so I don't particularly have anything else other than a sweater and like thermal gloves and a hat, like just a regular old beanie.
Dang.
There's a lot of things that the post office provides you with so that you don't have to buy. Like every truck tends to come with like a like an ice scraper and like something to like get the ice off of the trucks during the winter, as well as like little snow chains and whatnot for if the roads get bad. As well as something I recently just found. I'm like, why do all of the trucks have this? And I just recently found out what it was for. A lot of the trucks will come with a mallet, just like a mallet in the truck, and I'm like, what do you need a mallet for?
I could take a guess.
That's what I thought. But there's those, like, if you've ever lived in, like, an apartment or, like, some of those, like, really, really fancy streets, they have these, they call them, like, NDCDU boxes, but they're mailboxes where, like, everyone gets their own little key, but they'll have, there's like 14, 16 mail slots, and it's just a big mailbox.
Yeah, almost like a PO box in an apartment.
And those mallets are for breaking all of the ice off of those mailboxes so that you can open them up whenever they're frozen shut. And we've had so many people call the post office like, hey, I just caught the mailman, like, beating the ever-living shit out of my mailbox, and he's like, oh, no, he's supposed to do that. Just leave him alone.
That's my job.
So they provide those things, but then they also give us, like, a uniform allowance every year.
That's nice.
And here's the funny part about that. Our uniform allowance is not exactly, but rounds up to around $500 a year.
Okay.
But they give us like what we can use like that uniform allowance for, like clothes and junk, and so the catalog will come and they're like, okay, you can go ahead and buy all your stuff, and it's like, great, how much does a shirt cost? And it's like, a t-shirt, like it's like $80, or like a pair of pants, it's like $150. And what they do is, it's because all of these mailman clothes, like anyone can purchase all these mailman clothes, like anyone can buy. Like Mariah can go to the store, to like one of these like vendors right now and just like buy a postal uniform, but it'd be stupid because it would cost like $300. So they'll give us like, oh yeah, it's a ton of money, but it's to deter just normies from buying these clothes. So they'll say like, oh yeah, like, why can't you buy all this crap with like $500? Like this last year, I bought a raincoat because it rains, and that raincoat cost me like $300.
Damn.
That's ridiculous.
So, it's a little goofy.
I guess at that point, if you start off there, I'd say like maybe two pairs of clothes so you can wash one every other day, and then like shoes are a big thing, and like maybe a pair of shoes. So if you maybe even can't get a second pair of clothes, like I don't know what would get dirty, or the shirt or the pants, but maybe the one that gets less dirty, get you can one of those, and then get two pairs of the other, and then get a pair of shoes. I feel like that's already over 500.
It is. Well, I would recommend you get like one pair of pants, two pairs of shorts, and like two shirts, and just be doing laundry all the time. And that's about what your allowance will get you like your first year. But your shoes, you buy your own shoes, and I just wear like these like slip resistant, rain resistant like Reeboks that are kind of nice. They sell them at like Academy and like a bunch of like big boy stores like those. They cost like $80-$90. They're not too bad, and honestly they do the job.
So they technically require you to use that catalog to buy the mailman clothes, so because it's oh Jesus.
Basically, unless you want to go buy your own, go for it. And there's a lot of people who will find vendors who sell like fake knockoff mailman clothes for cheaper.
Oh, no.
If they can't like market their clothes as like official USPS clothes, and then they can't put like certain things on the clothes, like they can't use the insignia and stuff, but like some of the pants and the shorts, it's harder to tell, but if you get caught, you'll get in trouble.
Oh my
god. But some people will buy, like, there's a brand of like Walmart shorts that look almost exactly like the mailman shorts, but the mailman shorts are like $90 and the Walmart shorts are like $20.
Oh my
the
God.
only difference is there's two little like dark blue lines going down the mailman pants, and like that's a pretty dead giveaway that they're not real. So if you're paying pretty close attention, you'll be like, ooh, this guy bought the Walmart store. Ooh, you're in trouble.
Okay, so I can see like two ways possibly around it. I don't know exactly what they look like, but one, if you're, you know, if your wife's got one of those crickets or something, or she's good at sewing, I'm sure she could add some fake little things on there, or like whatever insignia, buy like an iron-on patch or whatever it is. Or
modified mailman clothes, black market mailman clothes.
We're starting a lucrative business here.
They would probably try to sell it for like a little cheaper, but still expensive. But if someone's like, "Man, I already have my clothes. I don't need to use my allowance. Buy shit," and then try to resell it on eBay or to their coworkers or something.
Well, you know what, Mariah? Nothing is better than trying to undercut the government.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
They'll appreciate that a lot, I'm sure.
But that's crazy. I can't believe you have to buy their clothes. At least I guess you're free like choosing for the shoes, but yeah.
There's a lot of places. A lot of this depends on what post office you work at, because there's a lot of places that are way more lax on certain things. I know there's a post office that I go to every now and then, and they have their schedule like a week ahead of time, and they have an app that tells them when their schedule goes out. And I'm like, I don't even know if I work tomorrow until like 6 o'clock. So it just like it depends on where you go. But,
well, those are probably the guys that care about the uniforms more too, since they're more up to date. They probably run them through a scanner to see if it's like fake clothes. Or
get the cloth detector. They go through like one of the airport scanners.
That'd be awesome. I should make that. I would get so.
Where's
much
your
money.
line? Where's the line on your pants?
Oh yeah, it'll have to like detect and then like do the circumference. I don't fucking know. That's awesome. So let's see. After hearing what we've heard, would you guys want to do each other's jobs?
I would not want to do Ian's job. I can tell you that. You're a better man than me.
I feel pretty much the same way about yours. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know. Maybe it's just how used to it I am, but I don't know if I could handle that shift.
True. So the thing for me, I really like my job because you go into an office for about an hour a day. Is kind of how your shift starts. You go into an office for an hour, and they give you whatever mail was not able to get like pre-sorted by a machine, like whatever the little computers had a hard time reading because your handwriting really sucks, or like it went through a bunch of places, and so like even the machine writing is kind of illegible, but like you can read it and make sure it's like in the right order, and like magazines and other stuff like that, and then you'll load your truck up with all your packages and whatnot. And you'll get the mail that got like pre-sorted by the computer, and that takes about like an hour being in that office. And from that point on, you are out of the office all rest of the day, just on the street delivering mail. And so I'll just pop in an earbud, and I can listen to music, I can listen to YouTube videos, I can listen to podcasts, and like I can listen to news, I can listen to audiobooks. Like, and so I'm just constantly like consuming shows and consuming music, and like I get to have a lot of fun doing that. There are times if I'm in like a more rural area, I can call my wife on the phone whenever she's not busy, and I can just talk to her while I'm delivering mail.
Aww.
And then I'm just exercising, just walking, and I'll get to talk to people on the street, and so I have all sorts of fun interactions talking to different sorts of people.
The
you do pretty good.
The male guy, Blaze. Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Like 90% of my job is just walking and talking to people and like listening to podcasts and audiobooks. Like it's not hard.
I want to do his job.
Mine is not
and
like that at all.
And it's like $25 an hour to do that. There's other minor inconveniences that come on top of that, like not knowing if you're working tomorrow or if you're going to like methy crackhead junkie land when you do deliver
that's
mail.
why I think that was like something that, because again I was looking at like part-time stuff, and that's just one of the scariest things to me. Being a woman, you know, going to the not so good parts of town.
What are you gonna tell us?
But I guess at that point I can dress down or like look like disgusting somehow. Maybe that'll give me the opportunity to not like have to do my eyebrows and stuff like that. But then I have to come home and look gross for like, you know, my significant other, so that would kind of suck.
One of the Discord moderators in Kaya's Discord server was talking about how she spent a lot of time in the South towards like Louisiana, and was like, oh yeah, all of these like biases and like ideas that people have about people in the South are just completely wrong. Like everyone is so nice here. No one's mean, no one's racist, no one's homophobic or anything like that, and like clearly we are not in the same place at all.
Well, I mean, like, there's like, I mean, there's like, okay, I don't know how to explain it except this way, which I'm gonna butcher it so terribly, I guess. But I mean, I feel like everyone is always gonna have their own. This group of people, this, you know, whether it's liberals or conservatives or black people or white people or people who like dogs or people who like cats, whatever. People always have their shit because they had an experience with something. I think personally, I've definitely met people who are like, oh, you know, you can't trust this person, that person. But in the South, I've heard it more like, this specific guy because he is this, but in general the whole group, they're just like, okay, whatever. But then no, wait, oh fuck, did I get it flipped? Wait a minute, give me a second. Okay, oh man, never mind, don't listen to me. Anyway,
canceling live on air.
I didn't say it. But I don't know, I don't feel like it's as bad, I guess, as like the news says, where a guy's sitting on
it's definitely inflated, but still there.
Yeah, like, and he's like, get off my lawn!
I don't think that it's as bad as the news says, but I will say that where I deliver mail, and like I change routes, so there's days where I go to the really, really, really nice, fancy white people houses that have to be like 7-figure houses.
Oh, I love those houses.
Even they will have like ginormous like Trump 2024 flags and like MAGA like all over their yard, and then like you go to like the really, really crappy like houses that you can tell like half the people don't actually live there. They're just squatters and there's no running water or electricity. But what they could afford was like a Confederate flag in the front yard. Like there's one route that I've done where like just on that one route, like I counted 8 Confederate flags just like on the one route. I was like, oh my god.
If only you weren't driving, like, that could have been a shots game. Take a shot every time.
There you go. There it is. But then, like, even those, like, you know, like, I'm a little white boy, like, I don't have, like, a lot of, like, negative experiences down there, but there's one route in particular that I do a lot that, like, I have a wife and kid, but I have, like, really long hair. I like to grow my hair out because my kid likes to play with it. My wife likes it.
Oh, I see where this is going. You look transgender.
Yeah. Not even that.
Oh no!
I have a girlish figure and I have huge tits, but my face looks like a guy.
But you do have like innocent people, like an old lady, like, oh, excuse me, ma'am, and then you turn around like, hey, what you need, ma'am? And, so people get confused on that, but like I don't mind that. There were 3 words that you told me I wasn't allowed to say when I came on the podcast before we were started.
Oh, you heard that?
One of those words, specifically the F slur, I get called all the time when I'm on that route. And just like random people just chilling in their houses, like pop out to get the mail, like, thanks, F slur.
You know what? You know what you should tell them? You should be like, I used to have cancer, and then just walk away. And just be like, this is me surviving cancer, and then you like just flip your hair. You should actually start wearing. No, never mind. I was gonna say you should start wearing like rainbow stuff, but maybe that would actually get you killed if they were willing to say the F slur to your face.
Walking around with like a giant rainbow tape. But no, like it doesn't hurt my feelings because like I know like it doesn't hurt my feelings because I know, like, I have, like, a wife and kid at home, but I'm like, imagine if I were gay. Like, that would probably suck. But then, the only time it's ever really, like, sucked is I've had, like, what couldn't be, like, any older than, like, an elementary school kid look like an 8-year-old run up and call me that once, and I'm like, I'm like, what are your parents teaching you?
Jesus!
They're like, instead of watching TikToks on their iPads, they're watching, like, PragerU.
Oh my god. You see that, like, those kind of guys are making, like, a Bluey spinoff or whatever?
God. That's so funny.
Well, you're watching too much Daily Wire, son.
That's unfortunate. I don't know what to say. I mean, I guess there's, no way to get around that unless you cut your hair, but why would you just cut your hair? Because
there's
people
not.
Call you, they call you that.
I'm not letting people have that power over me. Again, it's not necessarily something that I care about, but I will say, like, there are people that, like, don't have thick enough skin just to work with people in general. And being a mailman it's a job where you work with people a lot. And like 95% of people that you interact with are super duper nice. Like, even if you're going to like we have like the projects here that are like government assisted housing, and like you'll go over there and everyone gets stoked to see the mailman. Like, those people are nice. Like, they're happy to see them.
Dude.
Like, they don't have hair or anything. You're their only highlight.
The social security check came in.
Oh yeah, that too. I guess that's
So they get stuff. Most people are super duper nice, but there are a few people that like I don't know how often like you work with people in your job, Ian, but like I work with people a lot, and that's something that a lot of people don't like here. If you let people get under your skin, you will run across all kinds of people in this job.
You're right.
Sorry, you want to go, Mariah?
All walks of life.
I was just gonna say, I work with employees now, so I kind of know them more. But I used to work with the general public at my last position, and yeah, a lot of people really just like at the front, they kind of let their emotions show. And they were kind of had an attitude, so then it made the customer have an attitude where I'm just like spitting facts, telling them what's going on. They're like, okay. Like
people appreciate straightforwardness.
Yeah, they understood, and you're not being a bitch about it or being like a little asshole. You're just telling them what's up. But yeah, it's definitely funny because like people start coming back to you because they know they like how you work and stuff like that. Of course, the job is different. Mailman, you just have the mailman. I'm calling you, just being a mailman. Sorry, I didn't mean to say it like that. But Blaze, you just have your like schedule you just go to, but you don't know what you're gonna do. But kind of same with how I was before. You didn't know what customer was gonna come in. Wow, wasn't that awesome? Stay tuned next week for another episode of How We Work. That's part 2 with Blaze and Ian. Bye.